Hey, I'm Deontay Wilder out at the gun range shooting my 50 cal Barrett. As you can see, she's very beautiful. I enjoy it. It's very heavy though. You know, it keep me in shape when I'm on those training days, when I'm just want to relax and release some stress. I just go get my Barrett 50 cal and I just have a way with it. You know, I enjoy guns. And you always got to be very safe when you're dealing with guns. Make sure you do the proper protocol for these things, because we always hear about people having accidents and different things happening, and we know that guns don't kill people. People with guns do. So make sure you're very safe with them, as I'm very safe with mine. And enjoy the rest of the show. Yo, this is the 1911. This is what I carry personally in my room.
What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, do y'all see what I'm looking at right here? Does this look like a man that's hurting, stressed out, upset, angry because he was screwed over? This man's at a shooting range, chilling. This video was put up August 17th. This man is not worried about no goddamn Tyson Fury allegations. He's not concerned himself with no rumors. He's not focused on any of that. The man is out here having a good time and enjoying his life, which is good to see. Hey, brothers out there looking like, hey man, I ain't got a care in the world. I'm living my life. These YouTube channels make Deontay Wilder sound like he's laying up somewhere in a body cast, disabled. Okay? Remember all of this talk? He had hematoma. Hey, hematomas on his neck and big swells and knots on his head, in his arms and all his shoulder. He was, you know, all of this stuff that was said. I just did a video saying that Deontay Wilder would dismiss all these allegations, okay? And I'm pretty much following up on that with this, okay? Deontay Wilder is not responsible for what these channels are saying, okay? He knows he has a lot of people supporting him with these YouTube channels, but at the same time, I think a lot of them have agendas too. I don't think it's all about Deontay, but let me just tell y'all something. I'm going to tell you why. I already explained, but let me just bring up the simple details, okay? First off, anything that happened that night from the very first fight, where Tyson Fury was supposed to have taken all the pad out of his gloves, he should have said what he had to say. Do you think that man has the cushions that was pulled out the glove or whatever? Do y'all think he has actual proof? Something that he has in his possession where he can say, okay. And if so, why would he not say anything? Because nobody said anything. These channels tried to find an excuse because there's no way Fury could beat him, because this is the way you guys built him up to be unbeatable. Now, second fight, you had different allegations and more allegations. So now the water was poisoned. Now he had a metal object in his hand. All of these things, not one of them are coming from Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's excuse was a heavy costume. He had leg complications in the dressing room. This came from his mouth, even right after the fight. Okay, this came from Deontay. I don't want to hear nothing from Marcellus Wilder, from this guy Drew, or the boxing channel, or somebody trying to speak on his behalf. Deontay Wilder, okay, I'll let you guys hear everything he had to say. Okay, so you guys know this is not me saying what I think he said or what he should have. No, this is me saying, listen, hear it for yourself. If this man, okay, I'm just bringing the logic out. If this man would not address anything, you heard him ask several times that he was, well, just had, just things that, stuff that, that I can't believe that happened, right? Just things that got me, and the guy's like, so when you say that, are you saying like maybe your strategy, like you watched the fight and it's like, I can't believe I did this? He said, no, not at all. Just, I mean, like things that happen like in my dressing room, things that happened before the fight. To me, like just nothing that Tyson Fury did, nothing somebody else did, none of that, none of that. If he didn't address any of that stuff then, it makes no sense for him to address it now. Now, this guy Drew says Deontay Wilder, they had all the evidence that they need, and they get just collecting evidence. They got everything they need right now. He said they're gonna wait till after the third fight. Wilder's waiting for after the third fight, and he's gonna present all this evidence and get this dirty motherfucker Tyson Fury up out the sport. Again, all of this is coming from other people, other sources, not Deontay Wilder. This man is out here chilling, living his life chilling, man. You guys keep pressing this narrative that, oh, something went wrong and this happened and that happened. And when you say, I got proof. I got proof. Okay, I got proof. I have 2 remote controls right here. There's one. There's 2. I can sit here and tell you I have 2 remote controls made out of gold, platinum with diamonds in it. You're going to want to see that shit, right? You're not going to want to just hear me tell you. And even after I show you, you're going to be like, come on, man. Like I don't know. That shit probably ain't real. It is going to be some kind of speculation. But guess what? There'll be ways to prove that, right? So what groundbreaking news do you think Deontay Wilder is going to bring to us that's going to blow our socks off and all of a sudden Fury's out the sport and he's in jail? You guys still don't get it then. Now, one of my subscribers, shout out to you, salute, the watcher. You asked me a question, and I answered you, but like I said, and yeah, and plus, it's too much to just text all this. It's too much to say, okay? You asked me, do I realize that, what's his name, Blue Blood, has access to Deontay Wilder? Yeah. Right? I answered you, yeah. So does Dante. So does Stephen A. Smith. But nobody's repeating anything that Deontay Wilder said. So what significance is that? Like what? I mean, that's like a big fat so what? What does that mean? You have access. I have access to several people. That don't mean I talk to them every day. I mean, you understand what does that mean? Okay, I have access to a person, but everything I'm saying is my opinion. Okay, first off, let's look at this. If Deontay Wilder was telling these guys anything, they wouldn't have to say, I think, I bet you, I guarantee, it seems like, well, in my opinion, no. They would be telling you, Deontay Wilder himself told me, blase blah. Okay? Blue Blood didn't even say that. It was someone saying, Blue Blood talked to Deontay Wilder. Okay, so let me just tell you this. For everything that these channels are saying, that Deontay Wilder's not saying, all right? Deontay Wilder will lose so much credibility. If he came out with, oh, this happened, that happened, to make an excuse as to why he lost. What if he gets his ass kicked in the third fight? Then what significance does that make then? Now you're going to tell us why you got your ass kicked in the second fight? You just got your ass kicked again in the third fight, so what are you trying to make us feel sorry for? Like, what is the significance? Let's say he wins. So you want to try to completely erase the fact that you got beat in the second fight? Does that do that? No. Does that change anything? No. So what, this is not about winning an argument. This is not about Deontay Wilder saying something that's going to make people say, see, even Deontay Wilder said it. No. The only thing that would make sense, okay? Let's talk some grown-up shit here. Put all of those silly, petty, childish shit out the side. The only thing that would make sense on Deontay Wilder's behalf, okay, to react to what happened would be if he was bringing a criminal case, if he was going to sue, bring a lawsuit on this guy. Because basically, everything that you guys are claiming that happened, Fury should be banned from boxing and locked up if this stuff was true. This is criminal activity. So you mean to tell me this man took his WBC. This man took Deontay Wilder's WBC title, took padding out of his glove and bust him upside his face with bare knuckles. Took a metal object in another fight, put it in here, and put a dent in his man's head. Caused Deontay Wilder to die so they could do an autopsy on him and then bring him back to life so they could tell him what happened to him. Huh? And this man gonna sit here for whatever reason and try to protect Tyson Fury for the sake of not ruining a third fight, which already Fury is saying, because they keep pushing the fight back, he doesn't want to wait for him. He wants to go have a tune-up and then fight Anthony Joshua. So wouldn't the third fight be in jeopardy? Well, not completely, because Tyson won't be in jail. But see, that's the thing. He got evidence that's going to put him in jail. And you really, really think that that's the case? Y'all really believe he has some little safe in his house or some fucking filing cabinet that has a plastic bag full of evidence? You guys really believe that bullshit? Listen to me. I'm telling you guys this. And I'm not afraid to be wrong. But I bet you anything I'm not. And I don't like to do the I guarantee you talk. But I'm going to tell you. Listen to me. Nothing's going to happen. This is going to be water under a bridge. If Deontay Wilder is interviewed, and let's say he says, hey, look, don't ask me no questions about this internet stuff. That might happen, and he might not be questioned about it at all. If he don't say that, and let's just say maybe somebody that might be on YouTube might see this kind of stuff and say, hey, Deontay. And I'm talking about something, I'm talking about like a ESPN or something. I'm not talking about no fucking YouTube channel. And let's say that let's say if Stephen A., because I'm pretty sure Stephen A. probably hear a lot of this shit. Let's say Stephen A. was to ask him this shit. You think Deontay Wilder is going to sit here and make a bunch of excuses as to what happened and talk about something he has no proof of? Okay, because unless you can prove something, physical evidence, you have to be able to prove. Okay? You got a bunch of witnesses that say something with proof of, okay. You cannot sit here and just say, I think. Okay? Deontay, if he's asked those questions, he's going to, man, people think, they talk, it's the internet, man. He's not going to even address that shit. I'm guaranteeing you will not hear anything about Tyson Fury had a metal object in his eye. And listen, even if he was to say some shit to try to make an excuse, that still doesn't prove anything. It doesn't make it fact because he says something. But what I'm saying, it would make him look really, really stupid if he did that shit. And if that's all he's going to do is just come out and say how he feels, then what the fuck does that change? Does he get his WBC title back? No. Does the loss come off of his record? No. I mean, what does that change? Is this like a moral victory for y'all to be able to say, see, even Wilder said it? No. It would only make sense if Deontay Wilder is trying to put his ass behind bars and get him out the sport for being a dirty fucking fighter. That's it. That's what proof you be bringing. You're not bringing... Look, if somebody put a metal object in their hand, they're not trying to win a fight. They're trying to take your fucking life. That's the way I take it. Somebody trying to do something dirty like that, taking all the padding out of... They're trying to take your life, man. And you guys think that JD's, Wilder himself, everybody involved in that fight, the referee, Kenny Bayless, do you fucking guys really believe... I remember somebody talking about, how Tyson Fury snatched his hand down. If the fucking referee tells you, let me see your glove, what the fuck? What's Fury going to... No, put it behind his back? Are you serious? I mean, these little petty childish things. Oh, how can they turn the camera off in the room? By nowhere are you supposed to take the... How the fuck do you know why the camera was turned off or whatever? What if the man that get naked and change? Who knows? But none of this is coming from Deontay Wilder, JD's, or Shelly Finkel. And unless it's coming from any one of them three, I don't even want to hear it. I don't care what somebody else say. because they had nothing to do with the fight. They was not involved in the fight. And one of the fallacies of ignorance is that, oh, but if anybody know, would be Marcellus because that's his brother. No. If Deontay Wilder himself does not want to talk and tell you anything other than I don't really want to talk about it, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses. Why would he tell anybody else? And like I said before, why would you be a little snitch bitch and want to run and repeat what he said if he don't want anybody to know? And that would make him like a soft, big ass, overgrown child if he was like, well, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna tell them so they can say it for me. I believe the reason that Deontay Wilder is not even addressing this shit is because, like I said before, it makes him, he knows he doesn't lose any credibility with his core fans. So he knows they're out here sticking their necks out trying to make excuses for him. So it would be better for him to let people think that he only lost because he was cheated. Because there's no way Fury could beat him fair and square. Now, you guys do realize that this has nothing to do with the actual boxing world. This is just this little YouTube world of fucking fanboy channels. You do realize that, right? You do realize if Mark Breland was really fucking fired, you don't fucking think that Max Kellerman and Stephen A would be sitting there talking about that shit? You don't think that this shit would be all over the place? Can you imagine, like I said before, can you imagine the New England Patriots with that deflated football scandal? We hear about all this shit on a bunch of YouTube channels, but inside the NFL is not talking about it. ESPN, nobody's talking about it. FS1, no sports channels are talking about it, but a bunch of YouTube, no. You notice how the only things that actually happen is what they talk about? Like, I've heard them talk about it with him having to be with the surgery and they had to push the date. That's it. And we knew he had to get surgery. And he talked about that himself. Wilder said nothing about Tyson Fury being dirty and that fight cheating. I ain't talking about dirty tactics or something, somebody might do in the ring, little dirty shit, hold an arm and hit with the other hand, try to, headbutt shit, whatever, hit you low, try to make, I'm not talking about dirty tactics. I'm talking about criminal shit. The things he's been accused of. Casual Boxing has a video. Now, that video says he paid that. Actually, the video is titled Tyson. What's his name? Mark Breland was fired by Deontay Wilder for accepting $1.5 million to poison the water of Deontay Wilder. You don't think that would have been on ESPN? Let's think about it, people. Let's think about that. Nobody has talked about him being fired. You type Mark Breland's name in. Type interview with Mark Breland this month. Any search, there's nothing. Type in Mark Breland gets fired by Deontay. Well, all you see is fanboy channels and a bunch of other channels that bought into that bullshit. But for those of us that have some sense, all of us is saying, if this is true. My thing was, you know what? Let me wait. I'm going to watch ESPN. I'm going to just check the sports channels. I should hear something later on today. Nothing. Next day, nothing. I say, ain't no fucking way. Hell fucking no. And I had already put my video up. In my video, I said, if this is true. I don't even know if this is true. I made that clear in the video. So, on Casual's channel, when I went to watch the video, it started freezing up. So, right at the beginning, he just said, I told you. Now, I don't know what direction he went with that. Okay? I don't know what direction he went with that. Did he say, I told you they was going to make excuses for Wilder, or I told you something shady? I don't know which direction he went. But there was other channels that ate that up and was saying, like, yeah, and he took 1.5 million. And I know that they watched his video. And they were also in his comments. So I know that they did it. And basically, what they were saying was that these guys were saying, they were like pro Wilder. They were saying that, yeah, see, Fury cheated because he can't beat Wilder straight up. Now, because them pushing the fight back, people are saying, oh, see, Fury's trying to get out that fight because he knows he can't beat Wilder. Listen, man. The fight is being pushed back because Deontay Wilder got surgery. He's not ready. I said videos ago, the best thing for Wilder to do is get 100%. not rush back in there off emotion, trying to please these fucking fans and going in and get his ass beat again because he's not ready. Nobody's going to hear that shit. Just his fanboys are always going to make excuses, but nobody wants to hear this. Oh, but my arm. No, and we know he had to get a surgery, and it's like something like that. You don't just jump back and rush. You might can shadow box and feel good, but when you start throwing shots and getting tangled up and wrestling around, then all of a sudden you realize, nah, my shit ain't right. Deontay Wilder had every opportunity to say anything if this stuff would have been true. And the only person that could say that, and he still has to prove things, okay? Not just say, I think, but, I mean, come on. Come on. Do you think that what happened in that ring, that man is stupid? He doesn't have the brain capacity to know, wait a minute, this motherfucker, something's in that glove. Or there's no padding in that glove. Do you think that? And even if the poison, how the fuck would somebody know his water was poisoned? That means somebody snitched? How would they know? And if it was, what was the poison? What was it? And if that's the case, on top of that, for Tyson Fury, he'd be one of the dumbest motherfuckers ever. If he'd hire, because remember he said he'd hire him, right? Why would you hire somebody that has no loyalty? That man been with Deontay Wilder for years. So all you gotta do is throw him some money, give him a price, and all of a sudden he's gonna stab him in the back. That'll make him do the same thing, right? What would make you think he wouldn't do it to you? That's like these guys that go steal their girlfriend, their partner's girlfriend, and then turn on their partner. Yeah, he wasn't treating her right, this and this and that. Then she go whore around and do the same thing on you. I can't believe her. I took care of her. I did this and this and that. Correct me if I'm wrong, bro, but didn't you mess around with her behind your boy back, right? She cheated on him for you, with you. Why wouldn't she do it to you too? And you think Fury's that stupid? He poisoned the man's water, but I'm going to hire him? Well, because Fury could tell him. Oh, he could tell on Fury, right? Right, so he's going to incriminate himself now. Do you guys think, man? Do you really think about the shit that y'all say and the stuff that y'all believe and then repeat it as if it's true? Do you really think about it first? Deontay Wilder has more to lose by making an excuse, trying to come with some bombshell of news. No, we don't want news. We want proof and evidence. And if Fury did what you said, which no, I don't believe at all. I don't believe that shit. Because first off, not because I think Fury's such an honest guy, but because Deontay Wilder himself said fucking nothing. The reason Deontay Wilder didn't say it is because this shit isn't true. So believe me, when this shit come, a lot of you are going to look fucking stupid, man. You know what this shit remind me of too? It remind me of like, you see on like Facebook when people type some shit up and it says like, if you want a $3,000 cash reward tomorrow, type amen. If you don't and want to stay broke, then ignore it. And all you superstitious motherfuckers, amen, amen, amen. And then guess what happens tomorrow? Your ass still fucking broke. That's what this shit reminds me of, man. You guys are crossing your fingers and hoping Deontay has something he's going to show us that's going to prove that he was cheated. No. I ask you this. I dare any one of you to tell me. Tell me, because I know better. I dare any one of you to say that if they was in the court of law right now, that this shit would stand in the court of law. Well, Your Honor, I got proof and I got evidence that such and such a thing did happen and he did this and this. Okay, well, do you have documentation? You have video? You have audio? Well, no, Your Honor, but I have a picture with a circle around it. But the other stuff, I got reliable. No. Documentation kills conversation. That would not stand up in the court of law. Now, we know the law is far from perfect, far from even fucking good. We know how it goes. But at the same time, you guys are doing nothing but making claims. And you're just repeating what other people say. And none of you even seem to have the thinking capacity to think like, yo, look, man, how come Wilder's not saying anything? You guys make Wilder seem like he's a big-ass kid that can't think for himself, and we need everybody to talk for him and lead him because he don't know what's good. We know what's best for him, and he doesn't. he doesn't know how to defend himself. So we have to talk for Wilder. This is what you guys make it seem like. Meanwhile, Wilder's twerking that ass, shooting guns, chilling. He's not even fucking talking about this. He's not talking about any of this shit. And like I said, for him to talk about it will make him look really bad. To just make accusations and excuses. When he already could have said anything. And not to say something just to try to make himself look good, but speak the truth of what is. So if that truth would be what you guys are saying, why would he hold that information back? Are you guys not understanding the common sense in all of this? This man, his brother said, the doctor said, after he did a autopsy on him, and the doctor told him he was hit in the head with a blunt metal object. How in the fuck could the doctor tell you that? How would he know? What the fuck put a dent in his head? When the dent was put in his head? How would he know that? And the funny thing about it is he got a dent in his head, yet he's cleared for a third fight. I mean, really? And you guys don't think about this. And for some reason, the heavyweight champ of the world, WBC heavyweight, former heavyweight WBC champion of the world, is going through all of this, but the only people that's talking about it is YouTube channels. And the excuse is, the reason ESPN and all these other channels are not covering it is because they're racist against black fighters. They don't want a strong, dominant black champion. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure that shit applies to a whole lot of people because there's a lot of racist fucks out there that don't want a black man to do shit. I get it. But how the fuck are you tying any of that to what the fuck happened in the ring? And what Tyson Fury did? How the fuck does that have anything to do with anything? They're not covering this shit because it's not coming from fucking Deontay Wilder, Shelly Finkel, or JD's. It's coming from a bunch of YouTube channels. That's why they're not covering it. There's no charges because Deontay Wilder didn't bring up any charges. That's why. You think ESPN give a fuck what Aries Zodiac is talking about? What Kurt DeVille counterpunch boxing is talking about? You think they care what Dante's Nation, Fanon, Boxing Wave? You think IBFP, do you think they give a shit what we're talking about? You think they're going to do a criminal investigation on somebody because a boxing channel has concerns? But the fighter himself ain't saying shit. He's twerk dancing and shooting guns. And it's like you're not analyzing any of this shit. And no matter how many times we keep bringing to the light, remember, you guys are just going off of boxing channels that are pro-Wilder, that want to make excuses as to why he lost. Y'all talk about another channel and another channel. What the fuck does it matter? What does it matter? They're all doing the same thing. And the fact is, it's funny how everybody got wind that Mark Breland was fired, but nobody's talking about, wait a minute. That's why I did a video and said, it's funny how nobody reached out to talk to Mark Breland. You think Stephen A. wouldn't? Huh? You think the top reporters in this game, at the highest level of this game, you think them motherfuckers would know about some shit like this and just won't say nothing? You think Stephen A., a guy who also has access to Deontay Wilder, you think he wouldn't be talking to Deontay, trying to find out what's going on? Did you not see Stephen A.? I mean, Deontay, that's my brother. I love Deontay, but this excuse is ridiculous. A 45-pound costume? You're talking about it? No, Deontay, no. That's what he said. You don't think at some point Deontay Wilder would come out and speak and tell him what really happened, if that would be the case? How come when this shit happened with Marcos Maidana in Cotto, we knew about it? What, America loves Puerto Ricans all of a sudden? I mean, come on. Even the boxing networks where the fight is on, doing a little build up to the fight. Nothing. Why do you think we know about this? Why do we know about Floyd not picking the arm, letting them pick these gloves that had no padding? Why do you think we know about all this shit? And the fighters, the people involved are talking, not YouTube channels who sit on the outside looking in, playing Inspector Gadget, zooming in on shit, trying to, make excuses up. Nobody's talking about this shit because it's not coming from the horse's mouth. When Bob Arum said, this is not coming from Wilder, this is what I've been saying for the fucking longest. My whole thing was he could just pretty much put an end to this. But again, Deontay Wilder is not responsible for what these channels are saying. He's also not responsible for what you choose to believe. And that way, at least I feel good about towards Deontay in that sense of, hey, he ain't the one making these. Look, I don't know Deontay Wilder. I don't like or dislike that man. I don't know him. He can get it together and get better and start knocking motherfuckers out again and whatever. Hey, cool. It would just be cool to see a man with a complete skill set. It is what it is, though. You understand what I'm saying? But when we start making claims and saying this is that and that's this and because, and nobody's going, but where are you getting this information from? Why you think people, reliable sources tell me? No, motherfucker. No. That's your fucking subconscious telling you that bullshit. How can you tell us something that Deontay Wilder hasn't even said? But people around, no, sources tell me. Sources tell me. Reliable sources. No, you're making this shit up. And you come with this breaking news shit. You the one made the fucking breaking news up. Deontay Wilder is not saying this. There will be no lawsuit. There will be no criminal charges. Fury's not going to jail for this shit. Nothing. Nothing. Listen to me. Nothing is going to come out of this. And ain't no reliable sources telling me shit. This is me observing information and looking at everything as for what it is. Nothing is going to come out of this. There will just be more excuses if he loses again. There'll just be more bitterness if he loses again. And none of this is coming from Deontay Wilder. I'm glad the brother's living his life chilling and not getting caught up into this bullshit and feeding into it. He has nothing to do with this. Marcellus Wilder doesn't change shit. This guy Drew, nobody else. They don't change or make anything more credible. It is what it is. This shit will be water under a bridge. And there will be a lot of people looking foolish because what they was trying to make happen didn't work. But in the meantime, like I said, y'all blowing up their Patreons and they taking all you fools' money because you think you getting some beautiful, really good, solid knowledge. Nah, to each his own. That's all I'm going to say in this video. Catch you on the next one.